After almost 200 years of British rule, how did Japan influence Indian Independence Day to be on August 15th? Who made it possible for the chief ministers of states to hoist flags on this day? And where was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi when the first flag unfurled? Answers to these and some more. Let's look at 10 lesser known facts about Indian Independence Day. Number 1. The first Independence Day. In the year 1929, the Indian National Congress declared January 26th as the Independence Day of India and announced the Purna Swaraj Declaration calling on Indians for a nationwide civil disobedience. Indians were to carry out instructions from the Indian National Congress until a complete independence was declared by the British. So, between 1930 and 1946, Congress observed an Independence Day on January 26th. Once India gained its complete independence from the British and once the Constitution of India was ready, January 26th was chosen to bring it into effect, and since then, it is being celebrated as the Republic Day of India. Number 2. Independence preponed. Post-World War II, amid dwindling international support, British government announced in February of 1947 that it would grant India its independence by June of 1948. However, the new Viceroy, Lord Mountbatten, feared a collapse of the British regime due to the growing conflict between Indian National Congress and All India Muslim League. To prevent a bloodshed under his rule, he preponed the transfer of power to August 15. After this announcement, C. Rajagopalachari, the last Governor General of India before India became a republic, as well as the first Indian-born to hold that position, said, if he had waited till June 1948, there would have been no power left to transfer. The Governor General was the only and the most authoritative person in India at the time of independence. Number 3. Role of Japan in selecting the date August 15. Why August 15? World War II officially ended when the Japanese Emperor announced that Japan would surrender to the Allied forces on August 15, 1945. 2 years later, Lord Mountbatten chose the same date for transfer of power and said, the date I chose came out of the blue. I chose it in reply to a question. I was determined to show I was the master of the whole event. When they asked had we set a date, I knew it had to be soon. I hadn't worked it out exactly then. I thought it had to be about August or September, and I then went out for 15th August. Why? Because it was the second anniversary of Japan's surrender in World War II. Number 4. India did not have an official national anthem for 3 years. Even though Rabindranath Tagore penned our national anthem Jana Gana Mana in the year 1911, it was not until 1950 that it was officially adopted as the national anthem of India. However, in the year 1942, Subhash Chandra Bose selected Jana Gana Mana as the national anthem to be played while he was in Germany. The official national anthem's duration is 52 seconds, which was sung at midnight on the August 14th of 1947 by the first ever assembled members of the Indian Constituent Assembly. Number 5. Gandhi never partook in the Independence Day celebrations. While the country was rejoicing and speeches were being delivered in Delhi, Gandhiji spent his time in the then Calcutta, walking the streets and fasting, urging citizens to end the communal violence due to the partition. His words were, to me, peace between Hindus and Muslims is more important than the declaration of independence. Refusing to participate in the celebrations, Gandhiji questioned, I cannot rejoice on August 15. I do not want to deceive you, but at the same time, I shall not ask you not to rejoice. Unfortunately, the kind of freedom we have got today contains also the seeds of future conflict between India and Pakistan. How can we therefore light the lamps? Number 6. Goa doesn't partake in Indian Independence Day celebrations. Reason? While India got its freedom from the British Empire, Goa continued to remain colonized by the Portuguese until 1961. While the Portuguese were the first to colonize India, they were also the last to leave, ruling Goa for over 450 years. Post the independence, Nehru government convened several diplomatic peace talks with the Portuguese, and when they consistently failed, it was not until an army was placed in action that Goa was finally liberated 14 years after India gained its freedom from the British. Goa was liberated on December 19, 1961, which is still celebrated as the Goa Liberation Day. While the state may be a party haven now, it suffered long but survived and came out strong. Number 7. The first flag hoist at Redford happened on August 16, 1947. On August 15th of 1947, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru hoisted the national flag at Prince's Park near India Gate in New Delhi. It was only the next day, that is August 16, 1947 at 8:30 am, when the first ever flag unfurled at Redford, which has since become the tradition of Independence Day. A fun fact here. The crowd cheered to an almost immediate appearance of a rainbow in the background as soon as the flag unfurled on an otherwise clear sky day. Considering it to be a good omen, the crowd ecstatically celebrated the newly independent India. It was also then reported that even Lord Mountbatten was amazed by this rare occurring coincidence. Number 8. Gandhiji wanted to disband Congress party. 3 days before his assassination, Gandhiji wrote in a note that Congress must be disbanded as it has outlived its use. In an article titled His Last Will and Testament, released post his death, detailed that Gandhi proposed the Indian National Congress to be dissolved and be replaced by 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 Sangh, a people's service organization, because the whole reason behind establishing the Indian National Congress Party was to fight for India's independence, which was by then achieved. Number 9. Chief Ministers of the states did not hoist the flag. Until 1973, it was always the governor of the states who hoisted the tricolor flag in the state capital. However, the then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M. Karunanidhi, approached the then Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi that if the Prime Minister can hoist the flag for Independence Day, same privilege must be granted to the Chief Ministers of the state. So, for the first time ever in 1974, the protocols were updated reflecting this change. Since then, Prime Minister in the national capital and Chief Ministers in the state capital have been hoisting the Indian flag on Independence Day, while the President and the governors continue to hoist the Indian flag on the Republic Day. Number 10. Union of Princely States and Kingdoms, the making of a nation. When India gained its independence, it had about 562 princely states and kingdoms. Under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, while 559 of these united with India, 3 of them, Hyderabad, Junagadh and Jammu and Kashmir, did not. Neither of these 3 states wanted to be merged with India or Pakistan. Later in September of 1947, Junagadh's ruler decided to merge the state with Pakistan but later fled to Karachi when the population of Junagadh rioted, resulting in it staying with India. In October of 1947, when Pakistan sent its army to Kashmir, the desperate Maharaja of that time acceded to India in return of immediate military relief. It was not until September of 1948 that the largest and richest of all the princely states, the Nizam of Hyderabad, surrendered and merged his kingdom with the Indian Union. India, the one country that never invaded another country in its history of 100,000 years of existence. Let us all rejoice, remember, and revive the true role of India in this world's affairs, a peacemaker, a country with limitless differences, yet the one and only country that leads by example when it comes to unity in diversity. सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा. Jai Hind.